Round 2 clash was a classic. We're looking for another hard-fought thriller from the Queensland Firebirds and Perth Orioles. Welcome to the Chandler Arena in Brisbane. I'm Steve Rebillard for ABC Sport. This is round 9 of 14 in the COMMBANK Trophy. And although neither of these teams is likely to make the semis, they do know how to scrap. Back in April, the Firebirds came from 10 down to win by 2 in Perth. Nothing would give the Orioles more pleasure than to return the favour here and record their first win. Let's see what they got up to last week. And the Firebirds went down by 24 to the Sandpipers in Sydney. Melbourne Phoenix remain undefeated after their 59-44 win over the Ravens in Adelaide. The Swifts took the points in Perth 54-31, and in the upset of the round, the Kestrels sent the Thunderbirds tumbling to their second straight loss, 54-45. That's given Phoenix a 4-point lead over the Thunderbirds and Swifts, but those three clubs are now closer on percentage as well. The Sandpipers are outright fourth, but under pressure from the informed Kestrels. Then it's the Firebirds, Ravens and Orioles. Well, Vicky Wilson joins me for this match between the Firebirds and Orioles. And Vicky, both these teams will be motivated.
Well, they will, and they both need to salvage some pride, with the Orioles chasing their first win of the season and the Firebirds chasing their first home win in 2 years. Since their first encounter, the Orioles have been strengthened with the return of Kerry Duff, and she could prove to be a handful for Mel McKenzie in the backline. The Firebirds will be relying on Cramsey and Miller in the midcourt to increase their workload to ensure there's more ball supply for Chapman and Stewart. I think it's going to be a tough one.
Well, two of the on-court gypsies involved in this match, a former Firebird turned Oriole, Stacey Rosman, and a Firebird who used to be a Sandpiper in Kate Cramsey.
Sure, Steve, it's a huge game for us this week. We've gone back to the gym and done some work there at the Queensland Academy of Sport, who I'd like to thank for their ongoing support of the Firebirds. On court, we've worked on possession of the ball, really using possession of the ball, using a few different things in the front line, and finishing off when we do get the ball in the goaling end.
Well, basically, we know we can do it, and we were 10 goals up last time, so we're definitely going to push on that issue. But basically, we're going through the process of how to get the win. So we've been breaking it down into goals for each area, and we definitely think we can do this. It should be a good game.
Orioles in possession to start this match, and what an important one it is for both teams as they look to build some confidence late in the season. And it was in Perth that the Orioles made a very good start. They dominated the Firebirds for the first half, really looked like they could wrap it up, but the Orioles made the right stuff. Stacey Campton and Sharon Kelly looking after this match for us. And Kerry Duff, who didn't play in that round 2 match, Vicky, she might be the difference.
Well, I think she will be. She's a very accurate shooter, although that wasn't the best of starts for her. That was terrific pressure by McKenzie over the ball. Matthews,
most experienced player out there for the Firebirds, playing game number 74. Miller. And it's game number 63 for her. And there's a sweet shot going through for Rebecca Chapman. And you can always rely on the Queensland crowd here, Vicky, to make a lot of noise. Doesn't matter how many of them turn up, they're here for a good time.
Well, over the years, we've had some terrific crowds, and they certainly do get in behind the team and support them the whole way.
And they've waited a good while for a home win, too, as you pointed out at the top of the show. They're really they've recorded a couple of wins away from home this season. Beat the Orioles and beat the Ravens away. Good start.
Contact, wing defence this side. That is
Devitt.
Contact centre.
And finds Duff with that right knee, heavily strapped. She's had a long time out of the game with that troublesome knee. But it's the Firebirds this time, and they haven't missed a shot.
Well, Stacey Campton's very quick on the whistle. Orioles are being quite heavily penalised so far, 4 penalties against them.
Oh, Stewart on the end of a good pass, set herself up well. Edwards need a couple of settlers. Do the Orioles. Devitt. Edwards.
Oh, she was a bit slow on the release. I thought Duff was in good front position, but a fine ball delivered by Devitt.
Kerry Duff shot to 20 from 22 last week at 91%. Season average a little lower than that, obviously.
Well, Cramsey lucky to get into the circle before the whistle.
And a held ball adjudicated by Sharon Kelly. They always hurt, and it's a tribute to the defence when it happens. Rosman, Devitt, and Duff. Well, that must have been a great defence from Mel McKenzie that time.
Well, I think it was pretty close to obstruction. She almost touched the ball when it was in Duff's hand.
Umpire was right there to make the call. And once again, Stewart.
Great move by Stewart. She took Johnston out to her left, cut back to her right.
And young Mel Johnston getting a few lessons out there. A third time does the job for the Firebirds. Stevens. And that goes against Jenna McClure. So Stewart can retreat to the circle where she reaches out that long right arm.
Sam Andrews doing very well to cover the pass to Chapman. And again with the rebound.
So they created a few opportunities for themselves there, the Firebirds in attack. Both players available. Looked an almost certain goal.
Well, the movements are nice and strong, and they're splitting the circle very well.
Edwards. And Duff has it. I think it took a deflection off Stevens. She did well to adjust, but can't grab the goal. And Stevens grabs the rebound.
Kerry Duff just rushing a shot slightly. She needs to be a little bit more balanced.
Miller. Stevens slapped out of her hands by Edwards as Stevens shoots her a glance and waits for the whistle, which eventually came. Gay-Teed. All focus on this match. They look for their first win.
Great challenge then by Sam Andrews. Had the front position. The pass really wasn't on for Chapman. She needed to pass it to the mid-court and cut across the circle herself.
Edwards. Hands down from a desperate Peter Stevens.
That was terrific pressure by Peter. Over the ball.
Duff has it. Leaves it for Devitt.
Contact, keeper, pass or shot. Keeper out.
McKenzie out of play.
Out,
Duff with
keeper.
the shot.
Stand right back, keeper. Yes. Advantage, contact, defence.
Lifts stats to 3 from 6. And they've got the centre pass. So the Orioles just starting to run back at the Firebirds. If Edwards would care to goal here, make it interesting, which she does. Matthews takes it. Miller. Oh, gee, that gave the defence a chance. Mel Johnson nearly had it. And Sue Hawkins looking for their first win at home for a couple of years. Contact against McClure. Lead reduced to just 3 now.
Well, Chapman was wide open on the baseline. The high ball was on. Really needed a call from Johnston to call Andrews back to cover it.
Stewart shooting 76% this season. And McClure with 5 penalties quite early in the match. Andrews lost the handle.
It's a good contest then by Lee Matthews. She's working very hard on Rosman.
Centre contact, Orioles penalty. With no ring.
Contact on Cramsey.
Yes.
And we see Matthews coming through, having a go at the ball, being passed to Devitt.
Contact, goal defence. Pass or shot.
Contact against Stevens. Edwards will have the ball. And McKenzie, little smart rebound around the post. Matthews.
I think the Orioles can do a lot more work on their penalty shots. The spare shooter under the post needs to entertain the defender so that there is an option of that pass off.
Contact, wing defence.
Another penalty against McClure. Chapman with the shot. And the Firebirds first to double figures. A good first quarter coming from them. Only scored 9 goals in the first quarter in their round 2 match against the Orioles. It was a 12-9 quarter to the home side that day, and it's the home side this time dominant.
Great work by Karen Miller then. She had the double play, connected well with Chapman, took the drive to the top and was able to use Cramsey.
Rosman with the centre pass for the Orioles.
Well, Stevens unhappy with that call, understandably so. Edwards just charged right through her.
A few of the fans saw it your way as well, as Gay watches a shot miss, but Stevens with the rebound. Mackenzie.
Again, we see Duff just standing there under the post. I think you need to give that option on that penalty shot. The shots aren't happening for the Orioles. They need to work it in a little bit closer, particularly on that penalty.
Edwards open. The Orioles are 6-5 against the Firebirds over the 5.5 years or so of this competition. But the Orioles in that time have also only won 6 games away from home.
Yes. Advantage obstruction centre. Contact all attack.
Contact against Chapman. Andrews take it. Rosman. Duff wants to work the 1-2.
Very quick along the baseline. A little bit open then by Mel Mackenzie, allowing Duff enough room to drive the base.
Orioles, last 2 goals. Chance for a third here with the centre pass. Rosman finding Edwards.
Centre obstruction, centre third. Centre third.
Andrews to take it. Rosman looks for Duff. Edwards was available. Duff the preferred option, and there we go. That's why she's lifting her stats steadily. 14 attempts each. Firebirds a little more accurate, and with a 3-goal lead, but throwing the ball away late in the quarter.
Poor disposal by Miller. Chapman was right open on the baseline. We see the Firebirds doing a mid-court press, but the Orioles have worked the ball into the centre third. They should be able to get out of it now.
Edwards, Rosman looking for Duff, putting on a couple of moves on the baseline, and now gets it via Devitt.
Great ball by Rosman across the circle. Terrific bounce pass. Picked up Devitt.
Well, they've steadied themselves well. Perth Orioles to be well in it now.
We see Rosman wind up the bounce pass.
Oh, and Andrews just takes another intercept. She's a strong participant for the Orioles. Always puts in 60 hard minutes.
Another good long ball by Rosman. Finds Duff open on the baseline.
And look what the Orioles have done to this lead. It's just back to 1. They could even take the lead by quarter time, and they were down 8-2 early in this first quarter.
Stewart in strong front position. Johnston just getting caught behind.
Johnson on the right there, just 18 years of age, as are their 3 substitutes here today, the Orioles. Amanda Sander-Romita, Bianca Franklin and Kath Steen.
Tanya Edwards passed the ball across the circle. She really needed to cut, but it opens up nicely under the post. Terrific fake by Rosman.
Contact goalkeeper.
And Mackenzie overplayed the move on Edwards, who had no trouble setting herself up at the post, but a little bit of trouble getting the goal. Oh, quick hands from Edwards onto Duff.
You've got to love that move. It's just the best move, isn't it? Quick hands between the 2 shooters.
It's great to see Kerry Duff moving so well and confidently on that knee. Ramsey. Through Miller onto Stewart.
Again, good inside position by Stewart. Had Johnston behind.
And Orioles possession late in the first quarter. Chance to draw level at 12-all. That'll be...
Again, the Firebirds have set up the mid-court press through the centre court. They've got 5 defenders in there. Almost paid dividends.
Edwards looks for the fast-moving Duff again. Pulled the trigger early. She looked confident over that shot. And this is incredible. They could take the lead in the shadows of quarter time here, just spilling that one, but Duff...
She actually had good front position. It was a poor pass by Devitt up around Duff's head where Mackenzie could get the hand to it.
Shooting practice for Tanya Edwards. And Edwards with just 4 from 8. They had plenty of chances, the Orioles. 20 shots to 16. And now lead it by 1.
Advantage obstruction.
Stewart. And they needed that. And if the Orioles are quick enough, they might be able to squeeze one more in before the whistle. Devitt.
Wing attack obstruction, centre third.
Just a few seconds left. They've got to get it into the circle in a hurry. Duff putting some moves on. You can't get around her. And there is quarter time. Sue Hawkins will be a little disappointed that having led by as many as 6, she finds them level at quarter time.
The penalty count quite high on the Firebirds, with Stevens and McKenzie attracting 4 each. Their turnovers are relatively low. They'll be very pleased with that, particularly in their forward line.
Underway in the second quarter. And good start for the Firebirds, who, well, that first quarter was really a quarter of 2 halves, if I can put it that way. And an 8-2 lead to the Firebirds, and then Orioles ending up 13 all. And Sasha Connell looks like she's on at centre for the Firebirds. Kate Cramsey finding a way to the bench. Miller still at wing attack. Tough call at quarter time when you're not actually down, but obviously Sue Hawkins didn't look like the look of that second part of the first quarter.
Well, I don't think she would have been too happy to have an 8-goal lead and then have the Orioles just chase it down. They had a terrific start. They really need to steady and build from there.
Rosman, Devitt. Edwards looks for Rosman, and the ball just over Connell. Rosman keeping it in, but only for the advantage of Leanne Matthews, who hurls one well over a third. Quite what she was thinking there.
I don't even know who she was looking for. The ball must be touched in every third. The ball is taken from that back third in the goal third.
It was never going to land in the centre third, unless she thought she was in the middle third.
But there was no one in the centre third.
But she thought the umpires wouldn't notice.
That's a sweet shot by Edwards. And we see Rosman fumbling the ball over in the pocket.
Orioles by 1. Firebirds coming back now. Miller charging down that left flank and finds Chapman advancing to the baseline. Should put this one away.
That was a smart move, not only by Chapman, but also Stewart, who took a defender out to a left to create the space for Chapman.
Quick progress to the circle again, through Miller onto Stewart. And Chapman, by the way, still hasn't missed. She's 8 from 8.
And the Firebirds defenders have reversed roles, with Stevens coming back and working on Duff.
Replay call on Kerry Duff. Another long ball, but this time a legal one as Miller picks it up. And Rosman flying to slow down the Firebirds drive, but Queensland possession. Chapman.
Contact, pass or shot.
Contact against Mel Johnson off the ball. And Johnson with 5 penalties, McClure with 7. But the Firebirds have actually conceded more.
And we see the Orioles have also switched positions, with Sam Andrews back on Stewart right from the centre pass.
Obstruction.
That was smart thinking by Sam Andrews. Took the pressure off the youngster Johnston, moved her out to the front.
Contact, shooter.
And Andrews wins that contest.
Bring it with me, shooter, you're out of play.
And Stewart is being reprimanded
Right to the top.
as they advance the penalty. And Sharon Kelly taking none of that nonsense.
Obstruction, wing attack. Yes, wing.
The umpires generally, Vicky, taking a firmer line with any form of dissent or dispute of the decision this year.
They are, and I think, Chapman was just frustrated. Stewart was frustrated with herself and just hit the ball down hard on the ground, and it didn't quite go back to the Orioles player.
Defense, contact, pass or shot.
I don't think she'll do it again this game.
All the way in defense,
the message quite clearly.
Participating.
Again, we see Sam Andrews being told she can't participate. Once they're out of play, the defender can't speak, and if they do speak, they're deemed to be participating in play.
And the Firebirds have scored the last 6 to take a 5-goal lead. A similar beginning to this quarter to the first. Edwards swings it off to Rosman.
Contact, goal defend. Yes.
Contact against Stevens. And Perth need a couple here.
Strong inside position then by Edwards to hold out McKenzie on the shot.
Miller Oh, that was Andrews' ball right from the moment it left the hand.
And that was better pressure by McClure over the pass.
Sam Andrews, the restart. Big week for Sam Andrews, getting engaged to Simon Lee, we hear, back in Perth. So, Perth captain is making some big strides in her life. And she's had a big season with Perth, even though they find themselves at the bottom of the table at the moment.
Duff trying to work the baseline, but Afida just stuck in mud at present, not actually doing too much work.
Lead back to 3. Rosman.
Win defense, centre third.
Contact against Matthews.
Again, we see the switching of roles. Stevens coming back on Duff. Mackenzie out on the moving Edwards. Good screen by Edwards. Took Mackenzie out of the play.
Duff with the shot. And Duff on 10 from 13. Make that 11 from 14. As the Orioles just refuse to go away. Connell, Stevens, Chapman.
Oh, sorry, I was about to say Stewart has himself set up nice and high in the circle. The back space was open.
Edwards, Andrews preferring to stay back still on Stewart.
I think that's a smart move on Sam Andrews' part. They need to be able to mix it up a little bit, take a bit of the pressure off Mel Johnston. She's only young.
Oh, and through the fingers of a disappointed, shall we say, Tanya Edwards.
She would have been. It was quite a simple catch.
Miller. Chapman.
Oh, Stewart working that baseline again.
Contact,
and
pass or shot.
Chapman really had to put the brakes on. She was never going to outpace Andrews to the post. Well, that one skims across the rim. And Stewart gladly makes it her own.
See the long ball to Stewart.
Shooter.
Oh, and that one's gone against Carla Stewart. Use of the body illegally to get rid of the defender.
Bit of a tough call, that one. I thought she had good position. Johnston was actually caught behind her. Or soft offload by Johnston, trying to do a two-hand chest pass while standing on one leg. Here we see the one-legged stalk. Can't get much power with that.
Contact,
call against Mel Mackenzie. And 9 rebounds the Firebirds to 1 for the Orioles.
Yes.
Stewart's got 3 of her own offensively and 3 for Peter Stevens.
Great ball by Devitt. Went the bounce pass to Edwards, moving along the baseline. Quick hands into Duff.
Orioles.
And it's the Orioles centre pass. Bit of confusion there. Rosman thought it was the other way. You don't want to turn one down when it's offered.
Absolutely not.
Contact, wing attack, near the transverse line. Wing attack, wing attack, wing attack. You're out of play next to her.
I think some of the players are having trouble hearing the umpires.
You take it there. Yes.
There's a lot of noise from the crowd here, as we remarked earlier that fans at Channel always make a good racket.
Contact, wing defence, top of the circle.
But I think also that it was interesting to watch Devitt before. She actually looked across to Sharon Kelly to ask her where she was meant to take the ball, when she should know it's Stacey Campton's end. And that umpire is in charge of that half of the court.
Firebirds by 2. Connell looking for Matthews. Contact goes against Devitt.
Advantage obstruction, centre.
Chapman.
Can we see the double to play? And Andrews, what an easy pass for her. Well read.
Oh, and McClure was offside. What a shame, because that was brilliant defence from the Orioles.
Here we see the double defence. Oh, and Andrews comes off the double to take the intercept across the circle.
Stewart once more. 15 from 19. Pretty good stats building for Carla Stewart. Firebirds with a 3-goal lead. McClure, Rosman. Interesting pass, that one.
Oh, great move by Duff. That was better. Had the feet going, not just the shoulders. Simple shot under the post.
Her stats on 82% now.
Watch the baseline where Duff is working.
Shooter.
Couple of players down and up again. Well, Johnson is all right.
There's not much of her. She's not really going to bounce on the floorboards.
Rosman, Edwards.
The Firebirds persisting with the change of roles with Mackenzie and Stevens. Oh, that's a tough call.
Well, it missed, but even so. And Matthews, well, put over the line.
Yes.
3.5 to go in the second, and the Orioles hanging on well.
Contact, Alderson.
Contact against Stevens. A shot coming up for Edwards.
Let's see what Duff does under the post, whether she offers. I think that's a waste. I really believe the shooter.
So was that. Mackenzie gave it straight to Devitt. Sorry, Dick.
Yeah, no, you're right. The shooter really needs to make an offer on that penalty shot.
Miller. And through to Chapman via Connell. And to the net. It was 13 all at quarter time. It's the Firebirds by 3. And concentration time for the home side, as it was late in the first quarter that the Orioles put on a sprint. And the Orioles will be looking for a turnover here. As the Firebirds look to protect it. Chapman.
Paul Connell being caught up out in front.
Yeah, that was Mel Johnson's ball. The youngster did well. 18, playing a second Commonwealth Bank Trophy game. That's a couple of good goalers too.
Good fake by Rosman. She knew it was covered. Looked straight away down court.
11 penalties against Peter Stevens. Devitt fires it into Edwards.
I was about to say they've changed roles again. They're back to their normal play.
Well, that one hurts a bit for the Orioles. They could have got it back to 1.
Here we see Edwards going to the post. Goes for the bounce pass. Just not in the right spot for Rosman to pick up.
I think Rosman was leaning a weight the other way to kick the defender out of the picture. And couldn't chase the ball. Miller.
Sam Andrews nearly got a hand to it again.
Contact, keeper, pass or shot. Yes, shooter.
Offload to Connell, opened up the angle to Stewart, and Stewart doesn't disappoint. Oh, got a lot of work with that poster. Rosman's centre pass. The Orioles would like to get a couple on end here to just close the gap at the long break. Rosman nearly a held ball.
Great drive by Edwards along the baseline. Duff came up the middle.
And a lovely shot from Edwards. 8 from 14. Only shot 2 from 5 in 1 quarter last week, Tanya Edwards, in that big loss to the Swifts. They struggled at the front end, except for Kerry Duff, who returned 91%. And a leaping Sam Andrews can't put her off the shot. Oh, Rosman looks at the circle where she was not wholly within.
Well, she actually wasn't. She had her back foot out.
Keep coming.
Still got a chance, though, the Orioles. Late in this second quarter, Andrews, Johnson, but good defensive pressure coming from
standing.
Yeah. Attack outside the circle.
Needed to make a lead. She's taken herself out to the sideline.
Hold time.
Stewart apologises. I don't think there was a deliberate time delay there.
Advantage obstruction.
Oh, the Orioles lucky to get away with that one. Chapman came close, but the Firebirds have got it back.
Scrappy end of the quarter, and they knew the time was all but up, and screaming Carla Stewart says, give it, any ball will do, and it didn't quite do, but Sue Hawkins and Gay Teed, long-time co-coaches at the Institute of Sport, opposing them each other today, and it's the Firebirds by 3 at half-time.
Well, the Firebirds have been heavily penalised, 40 against them to the Orioles 28. The turnovers, again, the Firebirds are quite costly, particularly in their forward line, but it's a number of attempts. The Firebirds have had 33 and the Orioles 32, so the shooting percentage favours the Firebirds.
Anybody's match here at the arena, but it is the home side with Moses in front, and on at centre comes Amanda Santaromita, playing her first game for Perth Orioles at this level. Congratulations to her. 13-10 second quarter for the Firebirds, and away they go in the third. Well, they were down by 10 at half-time in round 2 against the Orioles in Perth.
Nice steady shot by Duff.
Connell, Matthews, flying Chapman.
It was just a little bit too easy for the Firebirds. Johnston needed to be alert to see Chapman driving in and come off Stewart and have a crack at the ball.
Contact, goal defence, pass or shot. Yes, shooter.
Straight away, the Firebirds have gone into that reverse roll again.
Firebirds.
Connell with the centre pass. The Firebirds with a 3-goal lead. And who's going to be the steadier?
Contact, centre, yes.
You look at the number of games played by these Firebirds players, Vic, favour them in a tense situation. Maybe that's what helped get them over the line in Perth in that tight one.
They certainly showed a lot of courage to come back and win that game in Perth. I mean, they were down and out. Going into that last quarter, they really did show a little bit of spark and work the ball well.
Edwards.
That was a better move by Duff on the baseline, but Edwards missed her and elected to throw to Santaromita in the pocket.
Yes.
Edwards.
Advantage centre contact.
Santaromita back to Edwards. Contact against Mel McKenzie, and that's penalty number 7, I think, to Mel.
Firebirds.
Sue Hawkins calling out for a strong effort from the Firebirds. Miller.
Advantage contact. Instruction.
I thought Johnston almost had that. She was actually in the right position and then backed out of it.
Think of the Orioles in that first quarter.
Oh, great front cut then by Santaromita. Wasn't able to pull the ball in.
Matthews, yeah, the Orioles shot 13 from 20 in a low percentage first quarter. They've lifted since then, but there were those few misses might hurt them at the end of 60 minutes.
It was a tough call on Sam Andrews. The ball wasn't delivered well to Chapman. Andrews got a hand to it, but was deemed to have contacted.
Chapman putting in an impressive performance, 13 from 16. She looks comfortable at home, Vic.
Yeah, she's working well, except then, lucky to get away with the replay ball.
Yeah. That looked a good dribble, didn't it?
She's cutting hard into the circle, offering and re-offering.
Andrews got a touch on that, but it couldn't take it away from Stewart at the second grab. And it's Chapman who goes in the end. And they've pushed it out again to 6. They scored the last 3. It's a pattern developing across the match. A strong start to the quarter by the Firebirds.
Contact wing on the ball, goal kick, goal defence. Pass or shot. Next is defence, yep.
Duff.
Yep. Offside, wing defence, offside. Free pass.
Quick hands by Santaromita into Duff. We see the challenge by Stevens pulled up for the contact.
Contact, keeper.
Rosman, of course, playing at wing attack now for Orioles.
Round. Yes.
Stewart.
That's a confident shot by Stewart. She goes straight to the post. She's got a rhythm for this game, shooting at 83%.
Santaromita with the centre pass, and these teams probably in the light of an important decision coming up from Netball Australia might have been a little nervous the last few weeks. Vic, we still don't know what way Netball Australia is going to jump with the shape of the competition next year. There's a number of options on the table, but obviously Perth and Queensland hoping that neither of those clubs is left out of next year's thinking.
Oh, there we see the pass from Santaromita into Duff. She held on to it for just a little bit too long. The AIS inclusion in the National League, Steve, I'm very happy there. they're coming back into the competition.
Well, that's if they are. You've got the strong word that they will.
Well, I hope they are.
Where you are. Contact, goal attack,
Yes,
I believe that's our nursery, and that's the way they get the experience and the competition to be able to play in the Commonwealth Bank Trophy. It's the best competition around.
So they could add a team to make it 9. They could put the AIS in and drop one from one of the other states. Or there's even a theory around that they could drop 3 and put the AIS in and make it a 6-team competition. Drop the second teams from Sydney, Melbourne and Adelaide.
I think there would be an uproar if that was to happen. I hope we go to the 9-team comp.
And we'll know in due course. Certainly
Awesome scrappy play by both teams, and now it's back with the Orioles. The heaps of intercepts.
But the rebounds are heavily with the Firebirds. There's some good height for them at both ends of the court, particularly with Mackenzie and Stewart. They've each taken 3 of those 10 rebounds. Stewart now.
That was good work by Stewart. She moved across and blocked Andrews' path, so she had the inside cut to the post.
Oh, good hands to it from Leanne Matthews. And can they set this up, turn it into a goal? Chapman, contact against Johnson. Easy shot for Chapman. Well, just crawls in. So they only need to look after their centre passes, the Firebirds, having built this kind of a lead and halfway through the third quarter. But a long way out from the final whistle.
That's the area they've struggled with in the last few weeks, and I know Sue Hawkins hasn't been happy with it. That's a better offload by Edwards. At long last.
That's what you've been looking for, hasn't it?
Find the shooter under the post.
Miller finds Chapman, and Andrews arrives a little bit late, and she'll be out of play now. Great shooting coming from this Queensland pair, 82 and 84%.
Wing attack obstruction on your way past.
Well, lack of discipline by Miller. Matthews was working very hard on Rosman and actually got the intercept, but it had to be taken back.
Going Firebirds, halfway, keeper.
And precious possession thrown away.
Good drive cross court by Stevens, wasn't used. Now she's back in the action.
Oh, that was a good take in the end by Chapman.
Oh, well read by Sam Andrews. Stewart tried the drop. Andrews had it covered.
Never stops trying. There's hands on that from Connell. But
centre out of shot.
Yeah, she's out of play, yes. Sasha Connell. Nice try.
Spanish moving centre.
Edwards. Mackenzie defending. And good work from Stevens. So they're continuing to out-rebound the Orioles. It's 11-1 now. Andrews all but took that intercept.
It's good work by Andrews and Johnston. Both came back to cover the ball into Chapman. Oh, Santa Romito late with the ball.
And Matthews did so well, but couldn't apply the brakes.
Aristi Santa Romito hanging on to the pass. Andrews couldn't believe it. She knew Matthews was flying through.
Santa Romito, and Mackenzie comes this time. And she's offside.
Centre third defence.
Only an offside call, so she's not out of play.
Advantage contact wing.
Miller. Matthews. And on to Chapman. Well, that one's short. Better defence coming from Mel Johnson.
That was a very ordinary release by Chapman. She didn't follow through with the wrist at all.
Rosman.
The press working well for the Firebirds. Now the Orioles are into a goal herd. They should be right, as long as they don't panic, which they seem to be doing.
They're certainly struggling. Andrews isn't panicking. He's just waiting for something to happen, and Sasha Connell makes it happen. Contact against Santa Romita, and frustration, I think, in that challenge from Perth. Stewart. Andrews' long arms outstretched.
Contact, centre. What for? On my whistle.
They work it effectively to Stewart. And Carla Stewart closing in on 25 goals. What a change for the Perth Orioles, with Bianca Franklin coming on at goal attack, replacing Tanya Edwards.
Good pressure over the shot by Sam Andrews.
So it's interesting when the team not affected by injury makes that change. Bianca Franklin there, 5 from 14 last week, and this is just her second game. She played 2 quarters against the Swifts.
I think Gay would be looking for some more movement in the forward line. Edwards started to get caught back. We needed the movement out the front.
Next to the wing. Next to the wing.
Matthews. So Franklin with 17 and a half minutes or so to make an impression.
Instruction centre.
Try and make a difference as Perth look at a 9th defeat this season.
That was a hard call on Sam Andrews. It was a terrific challenge. She had the feet moving. Stewart had actually stopped on the catch.
Yes.
And the Firebirds have put on another burst of 5 unanswered goals, and the lead has ballooned out to 14.
Good work by Johnson. Came away on from the side. Had to go with one hand.
Santorometer. McClure. On to Franklin.
Or Santorometer just running into Rossman's space.
Trying to get it to Franklin, who's yet to put up her first shot. Maybe this is it. There we go. No luck with the first one. So Franklin just 18. Like her fellow subs.
Just where you are, shooter.
Santorometer and Kath Steen.
Or Franklin learn a valuable lesson, then don't go chasing the ball with Stevens pinning her outside the circle. She's back in there now.
Contact, pass or shot.
And that range, no problem for Franklin. And she's on the board. Miller playing just a second game, Franklin.
Contact wing. Firebirds, wing area. Wing area.
Chapman with it. And the Firebirds very close to 3/4 time. I get the feeling they won't lose it from here.
Contact, goal
Had a much stronger second half than the Orioles in Perth. They came from, as we mentioned, 10 back to win it.
Contact, goal attack.
Strong rebound once again by Sam Andrews. She always seems to be up there doing the work on the rebound. And again we see her directing traffic. Santorometer just not watching.
And they run out of time to get another Perth, and that is a very good 3rd quarter for the home side. They're out by 13.
Turnovers quite high for the Orioles. 8 against Edwards, 4 against Santorometer, but the penalties, Andrews and Johnston attracting a lot of whistle, 11 and 12 respectively. The shooting, 19 from 22, very good from Duff, and Edwards was 10 from 17, and Franklin 1 from 2.
Away we go in the last quarter after a 17-7 run in the 3rd from the Firebirds. The Orioles now look this way with Kath Devitt back on at wing attack, and on comes Kath Steen at wing defence. So, and you look at Steen and Franklin, Johnson. We've got 3 18-year-olds out there with only 2 previous games between them coming into this match. So really looking to the future, Gay Teed. Can't blame her for that at this stage of the season, looking at what they've achieved so far, Vic.
Well, I've been quite impressed with some of their performances, particularly Mel Johnston. She's been working quite well back there on Stewart. Santorometer, a few errors, but I think she'll gain from the experience from being out there on court.
Steen, Devitt. Contact against Peter Stevens.
That's her 15th penalty for the game against Stevens. Good stretch by Mel McKenzie.
She's moving off defender.
Doesn't prevent Duff bagging her 20th goal. Connell places it for Chapman. And Andrews the rebound.
Andrews was winding up for the long ball to Rossman, but the penalty went against Stewart for obstruction.
St Andrews has taken the Orioles' only 3 rebounds for the match. Ooh, did that touch somebody? It must have just flicked a finger on the way through. What do you think, Todd Miller? He says no. And Stacey Camden said yes. Doesn't matter what you think, Todd Miller. But just for the record, I'm with you. She put her whistle to her mouth, Stacey, and she's a lot closer to it than we were, so it could well have just brushed her hand on the way through the centre third.
I think because it deviated off the flight path and it went down, that perhaps someone did get a hand to it.
When is it like you to stick up for an umpire? Vicky Wilson. I'm shocked.
Very rarely.
I'm shocked. Good on you.
Obstruction, wing attack.
We pay you to sit here and call it as you see it. And if that's the way you saw it, okay. Miller. And picked off this time by Mel Johnston.
Oh, Devitt being caught, just moving slightly off the ball, and Matthews is working very hard and got the intercept.
And Stewart, 27 goals now, 82%. Fine game from her. 14 the lead for the Firebirds.
They certainly are mixing it up into Stewart. Stewart's offering the hold as well as the movement. It's nice being able to see off with that variety.
No problems with the second attempt after an obstruction call on the first. Franklin.
Contact, wing defence, goal third.
Matthews, where's she going in this penalties? 10.
Wing defence, out of her way. Yes.
Franklin charges out of the circle.
Under the post. Yes.
And whistle by whistle, bit by bit, in they come.
There's a lot of whistle in that passage of play, but I think the Orioles would be quite happy. They ended up with a shot under the post.
Matthews had a good game. Stewart, Connell. The crisp passing around the circle, and the odd clash of bodies, but standing strong, Chapman and Stewart.
Not setting the penalty free pass, Orioles.
Chapman had not set the penalty. She didn't wait for Andrews to come and stand beside her. That's why the ball was taken off her, and a free pass to the Orioles. That was a strong move by Kerry Duff then out of the circle.
Well finished by Bianca Franklin. Gets her second. So 11 minutes in which the Orioles can make a run at the Firebirds if they get enough possession and look after it well enough. Steen. Rosman.
Clever pass by Rosman. She got around the hands of Miller.
Yes.
One against Mackenzie. Disappointed.
She certainly is strong in the air, Kerry Duff. That was a great challenge. With Mackenzie having the height advantage, there we see Rosman getting the ball out to Franklin.
Stewart gives off a short pass to Chapman when she's looking to the other side of the court. Duff on 22 from 25, even better stats than Carla Stewart. But Duff gave an indication of that last week against the top side in the Swifts, 20 from 22.
Yes.
So how much have they missed her? She's been out for so long with injury. 1998 was Kerry Duff's last full season, and she shot 81% then. Franklin on one leg.
That was a great shot by Franklin. She's got quite a unique shot. It's very low, the release. So she has to have the quick release to enable the ball to get up over the defender.
Yes.
Chapman steps to the side and that's not out of the textbook, but if it works, then maybe it should be in there.
You see the challenge from Johnston, just getting caught behind Stewart and was penalised.
Steen.
Waiting for the cut from Devitt and from Rosman. They need to get to the circle edge.
Duff is out of the circle, now back to the post, but there she is. Well found. Oh, what a waste. She did a lot of good work there. But a step against the Firebirds, and Orioles will get it back.
Yes. Vantage contact wing.
Franklin, longer range.
Contact keeper.
Oh, she was unlucky on that one, Mackenzie. She had to stretch over Franklin. Franklin hung onto the ball. She's got, as I said, she has the low release.
Vantage break, wing defense.
Oh, I don't know how Mackenzie had a go at it. I'm not sure whether Duff had full control over it. She was appealing for it, though.
Firebird centre.
And goes against Connell. Johnson looking for some help. Andrews provides. Rosman now. And 8 minutes left in this match. 12 the lead for the Firebirds.
Holding, wing defense, goal third. Don't grab hold of her, next to her.
Stacey Campton telling Leanne Matthews to stop hanging on to Catherine Devitt. Leanne must be asking, but why? I've done it all the time.
Yeah, why stop now? Stevens. Oh, well taken, Miller. Matthews.
Vantage obstruction
And Chapman.
outside.
Good position by Stewart. She had the inside space once again.
Oh, that's an unusual miss from Stewart from that range, not to even be close to the target. Andrews.
Vantage shooter obstruction.
Franklin.
Vantage obstruction, goal attack offside.
Rosman into Duff. Duff continues to impress. 23 from 26. Devitt. Duff looking for Franklin, but Stevens.
Well read by Stevens, went up with one hand. She saw Franklin driving in along the baseline.
JT won't hold out much hope for a win here, but she can hope for a big effort from the players. Johnson stuck out one hand optimistically, but it's finished off by the Firebirds. And Sue Hawkins shaking her head there, happy with something.
Oh, here we see the speed of Franklin.
Oh,
no.
step. Stevens. Chapman. And this is looking a very complete performance, except for the shot. she got her own rebound, but it didn't hit the ring, so that amounts to a replay, I guess, does it, Vic? The shot, she gathered her own rebound, but with the ball not having hit any part of the post or the ring, can't do that. But you never missed, did you?
Well,
did you ever have that call go against you?
An air ball?
Yeah, catching your own air ball.
No. Well, not one I'm ever going to admit to.
In the rule book, I don't think they call it catching your own air ball, though.
No, it's just deemed a replay ball.
Contact wing defense, yes, wing attack.
56-40, Firebirds. And this will be their third win of the season. And only having had one last year, this is shaping as a considerably better season for them. They will have beaten the Orioles away and at home, and their other win so far this season was against the Ravens. That was in Adelaide. Franklin pulls it in. Last minute of the match. Duff. Oh, and Franklin.
And shot.
Strong rebound by the youngster. But they're prepared to challenge Stevens, who's got terrific elevation.
Break wing defense. Throw in.
Not able to keep it in. Steen, so Firebirds.
Contact keeper, pass or shot.
Well, Johnston's just not quick enough to react to the call. She needed to be in the front position.
Chapman. And this score of 58 goals, the Firebirds' biggest total this season. Franklin. Oh, just snaffled by Matthews. Miller straight to Stewart. Oh, it's a clinic late in the fourth quarter. And they're pretty happy, the Firebirds, as are the fans, as they put the touches to a great performance here.
Contact, pass or shot.
And another shot coming up for Stewart. And she will get to take this as the final whistle is about to go, but it's a penalty shot for Stewart. She gets it. a tremendous win for the Firebirds. She is delighted, Stu Hawkins. They didn't drop any of the 4 quarters. Drew the first, won the second, third and last. And Franklin, let's look at this from Leanne Matthews.